The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is offering new users a $1,000 risk-free bet. Sign up today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. We're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for player props, parlays, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOLBets.com. Use code SGPN. Get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time has last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Use promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Yes, sir. We are back after a day off. This early in the season? Really? All right. We're low managing around here. But this is the NBA Gambling Podcast on Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice of the guy. It's me, really real, Villain Real, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. Whoa. That was a delay. We got him. We got him. Last episode was up and down for me. Scott wasn't here, so Scott doesn't matter. But I missed a lot. Really bummed about Orlando losing that game, by the way. Like, super bummed about that. Like, I'm really, really in my feelings about that. They were clearly the better team. Really sad that they blew that. However, we got them. Celtics, the last unbeaten team in the league, has fallen by the hands of the one Minnesota Timberwolves of all people. Scott Studio Reichel, everybody. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Minnesota got me a money line win against the Celtics. What?
There's actually one thing I was going to say. The line for that game going in was extremely short, so I actually thought Minnesota was pretty live to win that one. I didn't think they were going to win once it went to overtime, but Edwards took over and they won the game. Nice job by Minnesota. They've been good. Simply put, solid defensive team. I believe they're the best defensive team in the league, I think. Gobert looks back into form. McDaniels is very good defensively when healthy. Conley's been good, and Edwards took care of the scoring, but Minnesota's got themselves a nice team so far this season. Overall, happy to be back, though. Happy to get more NBA games. Pretty weird off day yesterday. I spent my time watching hockey and Maction, and all three MAC games were close, so I watched some football, which was nice. But it's nice to have a 14-game slate for Wednesday.
Man, chat is booming to start us off. Boy, we got. Oh, they say they need the mansion back. I can't bring the mansion back. That can happen. We might do that for a couple of plays. Luis is in the chat. Magic did blow it, but they covered the first half. Orlando Magic 7-0 to the first half number this season. 7-0 to the first half number. I should have played the first half, man. I think Moonoff told me to do that too. I should have did it. Shout out to the T-Wolves showing up against top comp. I mean, before we get into this, real quick, the Timberwolves might be good.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. They're solid.
The Timberwolves might really be good. We were really. Hey, do you know how much it pained me to take the Timberwolves in that spot? But I just knew they were going to win the game. And what's crazy is I almost hit a freaking fade the Celtics SGP that I tweeted out. Unfortunately, Reed had 14 points in the beginning of the fourth quarter, did not score another point after that in the fourth quarter or overtime. That was heavy on the heart, heavy on the mind on that one because that was a 23-1, 24-1, something like that. But Minnesota, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Cat makes me not there, but I'm almost there with Minnesota.
Well, I know
Rudy kind of makes me not there too.
During the offseason, Munaf and I both gave out Finch to win Coach of the Year at about 20-1, 25-1.
Really?
So Munaf and I were actually somewhat high on Minnesota. I like their win total over. I thought once again it would take a little while for them to get going after Cat missed about, 70% of the year last year. I'm still not a Cat fan, for the record, but Gobert's return to form.
He's so good, though.
But
it's like he's so good. It's just the mindset, and it's like he doesn't know how good he is. Like he doesn't know how good he is. I will.
That's really what bothers me about Cat is that he's got the talent. He just mentally falls short on several occasions, which is why I think they're going to lose in the playoffs. But for a regular season team, no, they're going to be the best defense in the league. So I think that they have a great chance to not win 50. I'll give them like 47, 48. I can see them winning around there. I think they're going to be good.
Oh, no, it's not hard to win 50 games nowadays.
And the West is kind of difficult, but still.
Yeah. It's a lot of bad teams in the league. All right, let's go ahead and get into this 14-game slate because I'm trying to keep people here all day. First game on the docket for me, I have the Washington Wizards on the road going to Charlotte, just not too far away from me, actually. Maybe I will slide.
It's a fun game to go to. Totals 250.5.
I might have to hit somebody up, see what I can do. -2.5 for the Charlotte Hornets. 239.5 is the total. That actually came down a tick. Looky here at the injury report for both of these teams, and I have for the Washington Wizards nothing to report. Charlotte, everything to report. You got Terry Rozier out with a groin injury. Miles Bridges isn't playing. And then you got a couple of role players in Frank Ntilikina. I don't even remember how to say his name. I really hate that guy, actually. Knicks. James Bouknight and Cody Martin all on IR. Looks like they're going to be starting LaMelo, Brandon Miller, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, Mark Williams. I actually kind of like that 5. That should be their 5. Right.
Well, Mark Williams, I think, is a very underrated center. And if you actually look at player value calculators, he's actually one of the most valuable players in the league. Charlotte's on-off numbers with Williams are actually kind of nuts. They're so bad when he's not on the floor.
Really?
Yeah, they're really bad when he's off the floor. Williams, I don't want to say is the glue to that team, but on-off numbers, if you believe in that, Williams has been very valuable to that team.
So, dog, how we lay 2.5 with Charlotte?
I'm not taking the Wizards.
What?
How do you bet on the Wizards?
Wait, we're laying points with Charlotte?
Look, I like the over. I never said I'm going to confidently lay points with anybody here. How am I taking the under? These are two of the worst defenses.
I don't know how this went down.
The Wizards, just for reference here, are allowing about 128 points per game. They've played 4 road games. Do you want to guess how many points they're allowing per road game?
Wait, so what was the first number?
128, basically, is what they're averaging, what they're allowing for every game.
Let's go 130.
135. They're allowing 135 points per road game. Give me the over. Give me the over. Wizards rank 1st in pace. The Hornets rank 4th in pace. So a lot of people are going to be on LaMelo triple-double because he had one last game. Rozier's out. Bunch of points to be had. Give me the Hornets to just have a great offensive game. I think the Wizards have a good offensive game too. Bet the over, make some jokes, watch the game break 260. That's kind of my plan for this game.
I have to pick a side though.
I'll go with the Hornets if I'm picking a side. The Wizards are actually one of the worst beginning of a season teams I've ever seen. They're not as bad as the hinky Sixers. Those were all-time tanking teams. Those were intentionally bad. The Wizards are up there. This is one of the worst defensive units I've ever seen. And in terms of duos, Kuzma and Poole together have the worst defensive rating by a country mile as a duo. They can't stop anybody. Give me the Hornets.
Oh, man. All right. And the Wizards have won 4 of the last 5. I'm the Wizards. That's the only reason I'm going to take the Wizards. They won 4 of the last 5. I'm going to keep the good times rolling with the Wizards. But, yeah, we're lockstep on the over. We have to bet this. We have to bet this over. Because if this game goes to 250 and you're not on the over, you're really going to kick yourself.
You can take an alt line here. Would I be shocked if one of these teams reached 140? I've seen stranger things in the NBA.
Yeah, man. This is like 300 points in this game. You're going to be so kicking yourself that you didn't take over.
Consider an alt line if you wanted. I could see each team reaching 125 in this spot.
All right, we're both on the over. Who you buying for points real quick on the prop section?
I think LaMelo triple-double's live, but I think the rebounds are not going to be there. So I like LaMelo assists personally. I think he's going to have a good game. I think Mark Williams should have a good game as well. I think Hayward's sneaky because we know how good Charlotte is when he's actually on the court compared to when he's off the court. But I think Hayward could be in line for a good game too. The Wizards are an absolute crapshoot, but I think Kuzma's got a good game. Poole's going to chuck it. So if you think Poole actually hits some shots, I don't mind Poole threes because the volume's going to be insane. Brandon Miller I'm tempted by, but I kind of want to see more. He's been a little bit too hit or miss for me as a rookie to actually back his props. Yeah. But once again, I just see a bunch of star power or quote star power jacking up a lot of shots. You want points? Maybe PJ Washington. So
I'm not going to just this guy. You said so many people. I didn't expect you to say all those people.
Well, I got both teams potentially scoring 120, so I mentioned half the starting lineup.
Yeah, all right. I'm rolling with PJ Washington over 17.5. Ladder him up. I think he has a great day. I literally have no idea who's stopping him on the inside, and he's very, very aggressive. That's what I like. I want the most aggressive person on Charlotte, and I think that's probably PJ Washington or LaMelo. So I'll take PJ Washington, and then let me get for the Wizards sneaky Tyus Jones over 11.5. It just feels like this Wizards team and Steve Clifford think that they know defense and they think that they can go out there and put a good defensive scheme together, and they can't. They're going to try to take away everybody else, but Tyus Jones over 11.5, like that. All right. Before we get into the rest of the slate, I talk to you about Bet365. We're brought to you by Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook, trusted by over 88 million players. I've been using Bet365 in Virginia, and I really like that they have the player milestones, so I can go out there, I can build my ladders, I can parlay my ladders, I can do all of that. And if you like boosts, you're going to love Bet365 because you're going to get a 30% profit boost on your NFL same game parlay. Make sure you tap into our NFL breakdown for the Thursday night football game. We got an ugly one this week, but make sure you tune in for that breakdown. We're doing that next, right after this goes off the air on the NFL Gambling Podcast. But looky here. If your team goes up 17 points on Bet365, they're going to give you an early payout. Sign today. Choose from 2 bonus offers, either $1,000 first bet safety net, or you can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. So it doesn't matter. You want to go for the big fish, and you want to put $1K down, and hey, maybe it hits. Or you can do bet 5, get 150. You can do either one. Just head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. From Gambling Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Look here at Underdog Fantasy. They have all of the ways to play your favorite fantasy players in NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, college football, college basketball. What? Drew Pember from UNC Asheville, points over all season? Absolutely.
That guy's still in
Simply
college?
pick higher.
That guy's been in college
he
for
is.
like 10 years. He's still there?
Yeah, man. Don't you love COVID and getting that extra year?
Yeah.
Like 6, 7 year, 8 year seniors out
I
here,
thought Baycott was still in North Carolina, and I'm like, shouldn't you have a job at this point? Like, what are you doing? Okay.
Yeah, man. Hey, Baycott rebounds over all season. Do that as well. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats. Higher on Baycott rebounds, higher on Pember points. And look, so just watch along, make your picks, and we're going to go out an underdog lineup. You know how we do. We're going to get out underdog lineup at the show. So sign up with promo code SGPN, and underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. All right. Next game on the docket, we have, what are we doing? The Utah Jazz traveling to Indiana, play Indiana Pacers. Pacers are laying 6.5. 241.5 is the total. All these lines are by Bet365, by the way. Injury report here, 2 teams. We have nothing for the Indiana Pacers, and we have Walker Kessler, who was questionable with an elbow. Keontae George, probable with a foot. Other than that, I have nothing else. Scott, we have 2 teams that also do not play defense with an extremely high total and a side that you probably don't want to play.
I just want to know how any game on the slate today has a higher total than Wizards Hornets. That's really the only thing I want to know.
I don't know. The numbers for the what is it? The Jazz.
The Pacers numbers are crazy. I'm not going to once again tell you that either of these teams play defense, but the Wizards are historically bad defensively. So I'm shocked that this number was the highest total as opposed to the Wizards Hornets game.
So we looky here. We have the Wizards giving up 128.7 points per game. That's 30th in the NBA. Hornets giving up 121.7. That's 27th in the NBA. And then in this game, we have the Pacers who are giving up 121.7. I think there's like an extra decimal point or something there because they're 28th in the NBA. And the Jazz who are giving up 120.6. No, 120.1, 26 in the NBA. 28, 26 in this game, 27 and 30 in the other game. This is insane.
I think I just prefer Pacers team total over. I mean, the argument is, once again, Utah is not a very good team, Indiana's fine. They don't guard anybody. They scored 152 last game against San Antonio, which is nuts. Lost their other home game to Charlotte, where I forgot the exact numbers. Halliburton had like 43 and 10, but nobody cares because LaMelo clamped them on the last possession. But that game had 249. I think for this one, I am going to lean to Pacers team total over because I really think they break 130. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Utah, I'm not sure how they're going to look offensively on the road. Indiana's not a good defensive team. I'm not going to tell you that they are, but I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go with the Pacers team total over. I see them cruising into 130 in this game. So give me the Pacers team total over.
I laid a big number on Pacers against the Spurs, and it worked out for me. Like,
they won by
sweat
40.
at all whatsoever.
I mean, Utah's 2-6. This team sucks. You hate to see it,
Yeah,
but you kind of expected it.
Yeah.
0-4 on the road.
And it's like I want them to be competitive, but they're really not. Like, they just got smacked by the Bulls on the road. And, I mean, the Bulls didn't cover anybody as a favorite at home.
They gave up 130 to Chicago. They can't stop anything.
Chicago's can't score. No way. Yeah, I'm taking Indiana. Give me Indiana minus 6.5. And I'm with you on the Indiana team total over. You sold me there. They gave up
even with Utah, by the way, being
Chicago
competitive. Last year, they were competitive at home. They were still awful on the road, just to be clear. Mm-hmm. They've not been good on the road for years. So I'll go with the Pacers team total over in this one.
All right. Let's see here. Did anybody see my chair just like go down? That was funny. All right. I mean, Hallie assists.
Yeah. Unless you're worried about a blowout, because he only had 5 assists against San Antonio because he played like 20 minutes.
No, but this is how I'm going to get across to that. I'm going to play Nemhard assists too.
Okay.
I'm going to play both. I mean, I'm expecting like 130 points in here. Both of them can get over their assist totals. And if it's a blowout, Nemhard this is going to hit and cash nicely. I'm actually kind of sold myself on playing Nemhard assists a lot more this season, especially in games that I think they're going to score 130 points. So, yeah, I'm sold. Nemhard assists, Tally assists. I don't really want to play with the scorers too much.
For Utah, though, I think Markkanen is a good game.
Yeah.
He's kind of that tweener that Indiana has a hard time actually stopping. No offense to Obi Toppin, but I was never a fan of his defensive skills. So I think you're looking at probably Markkanen having a big game for Utah.
Before we go, is Indiana for real? Like, are they just going to be okay? Like, is that
for
a 500
real is
team?
In what? A playoff
a 500 team? Yeah, a playoff team. Are they a playoff team?
I think they're a play-in team. I think they're going to get smacked in the play-in tournament.
Yeah. Because you can't.
I can't take them seriously if you're allowing 120-plus points per game.
That's why I think
you're going to get
that's
killed.
Why I think they're actually bad. I'm actually concerned that they just won 4 games, but they're actually really bad too.
It reminds me of the Borregos Hornets teams with LaMelo. They made the play-in back-to-back years. They lost by 30 in both games because they were just handing out 130. They can't stop anybody. Yeah. It's the same thing as that Hornets team from a couple of years ago.
All right, Boston Celtics on the road into Philadelphia to play Philadelphia 76ers. Celtics are open up lane 1. They're not lane 2. Probably because they took that L to the Timberwolves on Monday. 227 is the total here. That's come down from 228. Injury report here for these two teams. And I see for the Boston Celtics that Derek White is probable. And we have nothing on the injury report for the 76ers. I mean, you got Boston coming off a loss. For those people that bet Boston, you should feel pretty okay about that, I guess. Scott.
I'm going to go with Boston here. No offense to the Sixers. I actually have been impressed with how they played this season. I would vote for Nick Nurse to win Coach of the Year if I had to vote right now. But I think Boston's the better team. I don't think that's really a debate at this point. I just think they have a better supporting cast. Embiid recently has had good numbers against the Celtics, which might sound like that's expected because Embiid, we know, just won the MVP award. Historically, Boston did a pretty good job stopping him. Last year, not the case. The last 2 meetings, he had 52-13 and 41-12. So we'll see what they do defensively, but I think Boston bounces back. Philly, don't get me wrong, once again, they have been good this season, but I'm trying to look at who they've actually beaten with they have a 5-1 record. Have they beaten many good teams? At this point, they lost to Milwaukee, beat Toronto, beat Portland, beat Toronto, beat Phoenix, but everybody didn't play besides Durant, and they beat Washington. If you think
So,
Toronto's not a playoff team, then they've beaten one playoff team all year, missing Booker and Beal. They haven't played anybody. So I think if I'm looking at this actual record, I think it's more of a fugazi to me. I'm going to go with the Celtics. I'm going to go with the -2.5. Philly, I think, is good, but I don't think they're great. And I think that their record's a bit padded. So I'm going to go with Boston in the spot.
the greatest equalizer in betting for playing terrible opponents is the spread. And oh my gosh, Scott.
Yeah,
Philly is 6-0 against the spread this season, Scott. 6-0.
It's really crazy when you watch Doc Rivers coach a team, and then Nick Nurse takes over the same team without James Harden, and you're like, "Oh, Nick Nurse is actually crazy." Like, yeah, no, Nick Nurse has done a great job with that team.
Come on, Scott. We can't fade 6-0 against the spread, man. We got to ride the wave for as long as it goes. As long as it goes, man. No, for what it is for me is I think that both of these two teams are pretty solid defensive teams, but I'm really intrigued with this supporting cast for the 76ers and what Nurse is doing with them and being able to, even though it may not be everybody every single night, he gets a different supporting cast member to step up night in, night out, night in, night out. And I mean, Kelly Oubre's gonna have a lot good of a year, a really good year. D'Anthony Melton, I think, is gonna have a good year. Tobias Harris, I think he's gonna build on that, contract that he probably doesn't deserve and have pretty solid years. Like everybody outside of Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, I think is gonna be able to contribute to this season. And that's why I think that they have a little bit better of a supporting cast. Like I think that it's on par, and this series should probably be a lot closer than it's been in the past. I know the Celtics have had a few games where they've been dominant against this team.
The last year went to 7, but I think we'd agree if Mazzulla was competent, they should have won in like 5.
Yeah, no, it's really, and that's really what it is for me. Like that was the thing. I mean, I wasn't going to take Boston no matter what. You knew that.
Yeah, it worked out for you. I mean,
but it worked out for me because now, oh yeah, that worked out for me. They gave +2.5 on the spreads.
Yeah.
Ladder +2.5, ladder +1.5. I almost got the money line in that series. It was a lot. The Celtics made me so much money in the playoffs last year. Shout out to the Celtics. I love the Celtics. Yeah, I'm taking the 76ers. +2. Sprinkle on the money line for sure. I'm taking the 76ers in this spot. There's no way. But I'm not betting them. So far, I want to know betting Boston. Not actually betting the 76ers in this game. Total's at 227.
I kind of like the under in this game.
That's
you mentioned both teams
everybody's
being
going
defensively, over. But even just based on the rivalry they have against each other and the usual physicality that we see, I just see these teams beating the hell out of each other. I'm going to go with the under.
Who is the referee in this game?
That's a great question. We haven't done a ref report in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should do it for this episode because we have 14 games, but at some point we have to do ref reports.
Yeah, 14 games, I'm not going to do a ref report, but I am curious, really quickly.
I'm going to look up the assignments.
Yeah.
I was trying to use RotoWire. They don't have it listed, so let me see if they have it announced on the NBA website. They do.
They got it
James Williams, Lauren Holtkamp, and Dedrick Taylor.
That doesn't sound familiar. Nothing like that sounds familiar that this is going to be anything.
I mean, it's such a small sample size anyway. Do you believe in using last year's stats too?
But we don't even, like, if I heard Scott Foster, if I heard, like some of the big names, but this doesn't sound like it's going to do anything. So we're going to leave it be right now. We're not going to play a game. But Foster is in Charlotte. I might have to go to Charlotte, man. I might have to go to the game in Charlotte. Scott Foster is in Charlotte tonight. That's hilarious. All right.
By the way, for the crew chief, I pulled that up. Crew chief is James Williams. Last year, the average total was 225.2.
Okay.
I don't have over-under numbers. That's all I got. So we'll go with that.
Well, James Williams in what was last year? 2020.
22, 23.
Yeah, there we go. He was over under 39-36 to the over. So slightly over.
From what I see, though, there is a slight bias with him against the road teams because road teams had 51% of the foul calls and home teams had about 48.7%.
Man,
so that actually does suit Philly. It's not a big margin, but apparently it calls more fouls on road teams.
One of those shows is giving you a ref report like this, man. All right, real quick on player props. What you like?
even though I'm leaning to Boston, I am picking Embiid to go for 30 and change. He had 48 last game. I had I don't want to say I had a ladder on Embiid, but I had him 35 at like 230, which worked out well for me. Yeah, I didn't think Washington could guard him. Boston is interesting because I'm not sure if Porzingis, his length, once again, is one thing, but he's not as big and strong as Embiid. And Embiid has kind of operated more out of the post. He's been more of an actual kind of in the triple threat position, which has worked out well for this team. I think Embiid has a good game. I think he's going to have a 30-plus point game, so I am going to lean to his overs. With that going over, that is correlated to Maxey assists, so I am going to take Maxey assists as well. I think Tatum has a game today. I think he's going to show up and play well against Philly. I'm trying to think of any supporting cast members that I wanted. Oubre, honestly, I can see struggling against Boston's defense, but we'll see how he does. I think Derek White's going to play well. I'll go with Derek White. He just had a kid. He has the dad strength. I'll go with Derek White to have a big game.
All right. I actually went over Oubre 16.5. He's got this number in 3 of the last 5. He's played.
He's been great this year. He's been great.
Yeah. No, but I mean 3 of the last 5 versus the Celtics just alone. He's gotten over this number. Okay. And so when you sit there and you think about it, it kind of makes sense when you look at the assignments. 100% Drew's going to be on Tyrese, and 100% Tatum's probably going to be on Tobias Harris. But I did say they might switch there, and you might have something like that if Oubre starts getting too hot. But I'm with Kelly Oubre there. I just think that he's probably going to have either Jaylen Brown, which I'm fine with, or Derek White, who's too small. So I will take Kelly Oubre over 16.5 right there. I like Embiid over rebounds, 11.5. He's got 3 in the last 4 versus the Celtics in the regular season. And to just close this out, information for those people that do bet Boston Celtics basketball and you trust them in that aspect, they are 5-0-1 in the first half ATS this season. So if I said the stat for Philly, I gotta say it for the Celtics, 5-0-1 in the first half ATS this season. However, the Sixers 5-1 in the third quarter. Might be a live bet opportunity there. All right. Before we get to
by the way, I forgot to mention before, since you brought up the refs, Scott Foster is doing the Wizards Hornets game. If you need any extra reason to go, you will be getting Scott Foster.
I said it. You ain't hear me say that?
Yeah. I didn't hear you say that. No.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah. Scott Foster. It's a lot of motivation for me to go to the game tonight. Not going to lie. I might have to wear my refs t-shirt to the game and be in the front row, like right behind them with the shirt, just like this. Reference errors.
Can you get Scott Foster to sign it? That would be a great shirt. That would be a great shirt. You walk right past LaMelo and Jordan Poole, go right up to Scott Foster, ask him to autograph the ref shirt.
Yes, 100%. I'm going tonight. If y'all see me on League Pass, you'll see me at the game tonight. All right, let's talk about game time. Because, look, you just heard that I'm going to the game tonight. Now I'm going to the game time app to make sure I can get me some tickets and have no stress. Like, I'm not about to sit here and be like, oh, man, I got to pay all this money. I got to do all this to get these tickets for the game tonight. Nope. Forget that. Going to game time is fast. It's easy. It's low cost, last minute. Everything you need over at the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Look, just like that. If you go into the game with me, $20 off your first purchase. Just like that. Create an account, redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets. Russell brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, sports betting analytics platform, player props, parlays, game lines. I mean, you just want to see green. They're going to give you green or red on your parlay, your pieces, your bet, all of that stuff. And you just want to see green. That's going to help you increase your hit rate. And look, 30,000 users are using Hall of Fame Bets. Make sure you're one of them. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use codes SGPN to get 50% off your first month and day. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right. Ooh, Billy Baller too. My guy. He just gave me a bet. This might be my dog for the day. But if I do, I just know the Celtics are going to blow the first half, so I'm not going to do it. But very, very tempted. Celtics first half, Sixers for the game, 5-1. He said I'm sprinkling on that. I might sprinkle it too. I might. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Lante in the chat saying what's good, boys. Lante. I hope you good at the G. I was dead all weekend. I was dead. I didn't make any shows I was supposed to be on. I had to give them all up. All right. Los Angeles Clippers laying 5 on the road versus the Brooklyn Nets. Scott, your Brooklyn Nets. Scott, the 5-0-1 Brooklyn Nets. ATS, Scott, your Brooklyn Nets. They are laying 5 on the road. 231.5 is total. Look at the injury report here, and you have for the Los Angeles Clippers, Terrence Mann, questionable. Mason Plumlee is on IR. Brandon Boston Jr. on IR. And for the Brooklyn Nets, Lonnie Walker, the 4th is probable. Cam Johnson is doubtful. Nick Claxton is out. Scott, are you taking the Clippers laying 5 on the road versus your 5-0-1 ATS Brooklyn Nets?
Regardless of who the Clippers were playing against, I told myself, first of all, I hated the Harden trade. I thought the Harden trade made no sense at all. I told myself after they got Harden, I was blindly going to fade the Clippers until they cover a point spread. So far, we're 1-0. So I'm going to fade them again. I'm going to take the Nets. +5. This is too many points. I think the Clippers, once again, have to reinvent their entire team because Harden is the system, according to him. So I think he's not going to exactly conform to the rest of the team. One basketball, you've heard the same cliche over and over again. The Nets have been fine. Once again, they're the team that I thought they would be. They've
been amazing, Scott. I'm sorry. You don't say they've been fine. They've been amazing. They haven't lost the spread against the spread.
No, they're amazing for bettors. I'm saying for wins and losses, I thought they would be a feisty bunch that probably misses the playoffs. That's kind of what I thought they would be. I thought they would be maybe a play-in team, fringe play-in team, probably going to fall short, but still. They've been fine, even with the injuries, and they gave Milwaukee all they could handle. I know Milwaukee's been underachieving. Cam Thomas, 45. I mean, that guy is an absolute bucket. But still.
He's so good. Man.
Guy's good, man. Guy's good.
Shout out to me for
that, by the way, betting him to win 6 man of the year at 30-1 is a donation because he literally starts. He's not going to qualify for the award, just to be clear. But I do think looking at the spread here, I'm going to take the Nets money line. I think they're very live to win this game.
Are they going to keep starting him when everybody's back?
I think they should.
You start him over. I mean, Claxton's going to start, of course. But you start him over Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson.
Yeah, I feel like you want his offense.
I think Cam Thomas needs to start over Cam Johnson. No offense to Cam Johnson, but Cam Thomas is a bucket. I think he's got to keep playing.
I don't know. I kind of want him with that second unit and just get buckets there.
It's debatable, but I think Cam Thomas.
I think that I would
top 3 in the league in points per game. I mean, he's averaging like 30. I don't think you can bring him off the bench. I think you have to start him.
I don't know. I think I'm sprinkling on 30-1. I might because I think I'm starting Cam. I think I'm starting Cam Thomas.
As a Nets fan, me personally, wearing the Brooklyn shirt, I'd start Cam Thomas. That's all I'm saying. I think Cam Thomas earned his spot. But I think looking at the action, maybe Dinwiddie off the bench. If you want to make some arguments, you can bring Dinwiddie.
All right, I could buy that.
Because he has been a 6 man before with Dallas.
Yeah,
but
I
think for the sake of this game, I'm on the Nets. They're 0-for at home, so it's home court disadvantage. But they've been competitive. They're feisty. They're in a bunch of close games. And once again, the Clippers with Harden have to reinvent their entire team. And now you have Plumlee injured. I'm not a Mason Plumlee guy, but Zubac kind of gets played off the floor with pick and rolls, and they have no backup center at the moment. So I think that's going to be a problem too. I'm going with the Nets.
Yeah, there's no way I'm taking the Clippers here. Nets +5, Nets on the money line. 231 is the total. That's come up from 226.5, Scott.
I think I'm going to lean to the under. Clippers had a disgusting game against the Knicks. I don't know what happened there. They couldn't score. But it's also a lack of
defense is good. Knicks defense is good.
Knicks defense was good, but I mean, the Knicks also didn't score much either. That was just a weird rock fight.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about
Brunson had like 7 points.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Knicks scoring very soon.
I think for the sake of this game, I'm gonna lean under. It just feels too high to me. I know the Nets have been involved in some high scoring games. Milwaukee can't guard anybody, so that of course is kind of a built-in excuse there. But it's really the lack of pace for the Clippers. They're an older team. They have to play in the half court. Defensively, they have not been great, but I think they're still okay with Kawhi and Paul George not being the same as they used to be. I'm going to lean to the under, though. This number just feels a bit too high. I see this landing somewhere in the mid-220s. I think one bad quarter is going to kill this total. I'm going to go with the under.
Imagine if the Clippers had this same team like 5 years ago.
That's what I tweeted. It said they traded for Harden. I'm like, this is a crazy dream team in 2016. It's a crazy dream team. But I'm going to lean under here. I think
When's the last time we got a Clippers game in the 230s? Like, I mean, consistently. Like,
it actually landed in the 230s? I don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, sure, we probably got some that got some scoring, but we always take the under with the Clippers.
No, I'm saying a total that was in the 230s that went over. The
Oh,
Lakers
yeah.
game
No
with them
idea.
went over, but that also went to overtime, so that was a little bit padded, but still.
Yeah. Under. Anything player? I didn't write anything down player part wise in this one, honestly.
I'll take Cam
Did
Thomas
you?
points. I'm trying to think of what I want to go with. Zubac should get more minutes because Plumlee's injured, but it might be personal bias. I don't think Zubac's that good as a player. Like, I don't think he's that talented. He's a lumbering center in an increasingly spaced out NBA. So he's kind of getting slowly phased out of basketball, but they don't have a backup center. So I think Zubac is in line for a good rebounding game because they don't have a backup. So if you think Zubac plays 28 minutes, Claxton's out, Ben Simmons is basically playing center for this team, which has worked out to some degree, but Zubac has a mismatch. So if you want to go with the mismatch there, I think Zubac rebounds is worth a look, maybe points, but he can't finish a layup. So that's the trade-off. But I think Paul George has a good game. Paul George historically has been very good against the Nets, and the Nets really don't have anybody that can guard him. If you look at Paul George's shooting,
Where's Waldo?
He's been nasty. He's been really good this year, Paul George. I'll be on him. I think he's in line for a big game.
It was a good last game. All right.
Last game he wasn't. Against the Lakers, he carried them to overtime. But
all right. And
I'll lean to Harden unders, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Nets are going to be pissed off to see him. I still think the Nets fan base hates him. So he'll be getting booed every time he touches the ball.
Let's see if James Harden makes it the year. He might be gone by the deadline. New York Knicks, laying 10.5. He's not going to be.
They get an
He's not going to be
unprotected
gone by
first
the
for him. They're
deadline.
keeping him.
Yeah, he's not going to.
He's going to blow up the team, but they're going to keep him.
All right. Knicks laying 10.5 in the Garden against the San Antonio Spurs. 223.5 is the total. Injury report for these two teams. Keldon Johnson is probable. Devin Vassell, tier, is doubtful with an abductor injury. No injuries for the New York Knicks. I would like to preface any conversation that we are about to have with the fact that this is a very, very true and real stat that the New York Knicks, this line opened up at 9.5, by the way, that the New York Knicks, when laying 9.5 or more in the Garden, are 15 and 26, 36% ATS. All time. I mean, I
want to hear your
without
case.
Devin Vassell.
How does it feel, by the way? You're laying 10 points. When was the last time this happened?
I actually don't remember when the last time this happened. I kind of think the last time this happened was that Minnesota game where I think nobody was playing and Taurean Prince went out there and dropped 30.
And you lost. Yeah, because Prince had like 9 threes.
I think that they were laying a big number in that game. I can't remember if somebody can stat check me there, but yeah, no. Looky here. There's no way. There's no way I am laying this number with the Knicks in the Garden. No way. There's no possible way. I faded this Spurs team, rightly so, against the Pacers because of the fact that you had no Devin Vassell, and this was really just me being a Devin Vassell homer. And
it sucks he got injured, though.
Trash.
Vassell's going to be out for a while. It sucks he got hurt.
I know. Nobody's more hurt than me because the game he got hurt, I had him for over 17.5, laddered up, and he had 17.5 and didn't come back for the second half. So nobody is more hurt than me.
I liked him at Florida State. I've been a fan of his for a while.
Our boss has said that this loss hurts us all, Sean Green, and I will tell you that Devin Vassell loss hurts us all. However, I'm still backing them against. I mean, there's so many Jordan in Madison Square Garden candidates for this game. You got Keldon Johnson, you got Wemby. Hey, Malachi Branham could make a contribution in this game. I mean, you got Jeremy Sohan. You have so many people that could just get up randomly in the Garden. And it just looked like Jordan. There's so many candidates. There's no way I'm laying 10.5. No way.
The only problem that I have with San Antonio is that I think this team sucks.
Yes.
They're really bad. They're really, really
without
bad.
Devin Vassell, yes.
Yeah, without Vassell. Their 2 wins, of course, were against Phoenix. Phoenix
With
without Booker played one of them. Beal has not played yet. I think Phoenix is very fraudulent. But yes, Vassell hit a couple of big shots there. I think Keldon Johnson is probably your pick for the MSG game today. Everyone's going to pick Wemby. I think it's actually not a great matchup for Wemby because with Mitchell Robinson and with Julius Randle, Randle's bad, but at least he's a big body. So I do think it's not the best matchup for Victor. Yeah, okay, fair enough. He can't shoot. I mean, Randle can't shoot, but I do think that he's a good rebounder. So I think that Victor's got problems in this matchup, but I think Keldon Johnson's in line for a good game. I think Brunson's going to play well, though. I think Brunson's going to have a good game. He's going to bounce back from. I can't believe he scored 7. Brunson scoring 7 after scoring 40 plus the game before is pretty wild. I think RJ Barrett takes a step back. I think Brunson takes a step forward. Randall actually had 20 points last game. Congratulations, by the way, that Randall had a good shooting game.
Gosh. Oh my god!
It finally
Don't get me
happened.
started.
The concert officially is on hold for now, but he had a nice concert going for the last couple of games. But I'm going to go with the Spurs plus the 10. But I do think that you're looking at probably the Knicks struggling more than people anticipate. I think the Spurs keep this game close. I'll go with the Spurs plus 10.
Man, if we had more time, I would definitely go on a Julius Randle brand. But, I mean, last thing I got to say is this Knicks team is 29th in points per game, 104.4. Only team that is worse than that is the Portland Trailblazers. Only team. So, yeah.
And Simons got injured in like the first game of the season.
All right. Who am I? Before we move on for this game, I have to hitch my hat on the Jordan player of the game. Really should keep tally of
my pick was Keldon.
Their ladders. So you said Keldon. Yeah. I understand that. And
I'm also a fan of Keldon. I think Keldon's a good player.
I am going to go with Malachi Branham because I've gotten some good Malachi. I know he's been bad this year, guys.
He's a chucker. Bad. He's going to keep shooting.
He's going to keep shooting. And I'm telling you, if the first couple go in for Malachi Branham, we're in for a 30-piece. We're in for a 30-piece, and he's going to keep because he's going to shoot. Like, he's going to shoot. So I'm rolling with Malachi Branham. I have him at 10.5. Let me see if I can find the price on his ladder real quick for my Jordan player of the game in Garden. Or am I allowed to say that? Because doesn't Kia have a Jordan player of the game or something like that? So
I don't know if they still do.
Is there a copyright on that?
There is since you said the company.
Oh, man. All right.
I mean, you said the award that you threw in the actual company in front of it. So I'm assuming there is now.
All right. So let me see here. Malachi Branham, 10.5. We have 15 at plus 330. Wow.
By the way, I think that what you just said was a thing in like, what, 2K13?
Yeah.
Something like 10 years ago.
That. Yeah. That sounds about right. All right.
That was the last 2K I bought, so
I had a crazy pause last season. I don't even remember what that was.
We all have moments. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. Everybody, it's so hard.
Kyle Lowry post.
It's so hard.
You hear the Kyle Lowry?
What?
Did you see the Kyle Lowry interview?
No. What'd he do?
Massive pause moment.
Was this recently?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got to go back and watch.
He said something like, did that help get the taste out of your mouth? And Kyle Lowry was like, pause. Wow. That was wild. He just straight up turned, I think he turned to Bam and just goes, that's absolutely wild. Yeah, so
man,
if you want a very fun interview, look up the Kyle Lowry interview from like a day or two ago.
That was crazy. Oh, man. All right.
And he's wearing like the big hat. He had the big hat on too. So he just looked over like, Paul, that was wild. Full whatever. But he had the massive baseball cap on, which kind of became a thing. I forgot where that started. Who was the big hat guy? That was basketball last year?
I don't remember. I have no idea. I have to go back and look at the film.
I'm trying to remember.
Phoenix Suns, though. Traveling to Chicago, play Chicago Bulls. Bulls laying 1. 221 is the total. That's actually come down 1.5. And for the injury report, Bradley Beal, questionable, and actually looks like he's close to making his debut. We'll see if he actually plays. Yeah, there's a chance he plays today. Devin Booker's out, though, with a calf, and Damian Lee's on IR, and nothing on this injury report. Can they take Lonzo Ball off, please? We get it. Jesus. Like, we get it.
To be fair, I accidentally said Alonzo instead of LaMelo earlier in the show, so I'm sorry if I
missed that.
PSD for you. Sorry
I know. Like, this is really, really annoying. I really hate the Lonzo situation. All right. There's no chance we're taking the Bulls here, right?
I'm not going to take the Bulls, but the Suns are who I thought they were going to be to start the year. Now, they've had injuries, which I have to admit, so that is a reason why they're not playing well. I roasted that Ayton trade so hard because I said Nurkic was washed, and he was great in the first game of the season. He absolutely burned me in the first game. Mm-hmm. He has been awful ever since. Benchable. He's arguably behind Eubanks at this point. So, no, it was a horrible trade. The bench unit's not any good. It's why they can't overcome the absences of these key players. I'm not going to bet it. I'm going to lean to Phoenix because I don't think anybody on the Bulls can actually guard Durant, and I think that they're going to play better with with a Beal potentially playing. But the Suns team is who I thought they were. The bench unit's not good. Nurkic is washed, and they got problems. But I think they're good enough to win this game.
Yeah. There's no way I'm taking the Bulls. I really
Durant's off
think
what, 42 piece? I think he's in line for a big game.
And it's kind of depressing because this Bulls team has talent, but it's just like they don't play well, man. Like,
well,
even in the games they win.
I've said this for years. You look at DeRozan. It's when they grouped everyone together. They have DeRozan, LaVine, and Vucevic. 3 shoot-first guys that are playing on the same team. Kind of like why I was against the Durant and Beal and Booker combo. We've yet to see it at this point, but it's 3 shoot-first guys. You have a hard time sharing the basketball. So I think that it's an issue for the Bulls, and they keep the team together for no reason, and they're going to be bad this year. It is what it is.
All right. I don't know what to tell you on the total, 221.
I'm going to lean over because Phoenix can't guard anybody.
Yeah.
Phoenix can't guard anybody.
Bulls can't really. Bulls are okay defensively. I mean, they're both literally like right next to each other defensively.
Yeah, they're fine.
Really,
I think Durant can get his, and I do think with LaVine and DeMar against this defense, they can get theirs.
Yeah, I don't know why this total's going down, actually. I'm with you. I can go over. All right. Let's see here. Next game up. Miami Heat. That's the next game I got. Miami Heat. Laying 1.5. I'm not going to lie. I saw a 2.5 earlier. And he's got Heat -2 here. So I know it was there. So I saw it too. So just let you know. It was at 2.5. Is now back.
For the record, I did these banners about 30 minutes before we went live. So if it moved after, apologies.
Yep. So, but that's further proof of why you should never lay points with Miami. 218.5 is total. I guess I'll read the injury report because Jimmy Butler's probable, Caleb Martin is out, and for the Grizzlies, John Karchar is doubtful. Xavier Tillman is out. Derrick Rose is on IR, so they are down for an extended period of time. Steven Adams, who's out for the rest of the season. Brandon Clark, who's still rehabbing that Achilles. Derrick Rose now, and we know John Morant suspended until next month.
But they won a game.
They did win a game.
They won a game.
They did win a game. The second one didn't win the first one. They
should have won the first one. They choked it, but either way.
They made it back up. Bismack Biyombo is probably starting in this game. Just take the Miami Heat money line.
We got to start somewhere, and I'm going to start off with this. I want to give a shout-out to the guy who only puts up great stat lines when none of us have money on the guy. Shout out to Bam Adebayo. 20 rebound triple-double.
Oh, my gosh.
Shout out to
Do you
Bam.
know how mad I was?
20
like,
and 10.
who are you?
20 and 10 is a wild stat line. That is a sick stat line.
Who are you?
And
nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about it.
If we did, he wouldn't have done it. That's what I'm saying.
If it was Jokic front page news, like Jokic doesn't do that every other game. Bam just did. That was huge. Pause.
I wanted to give him his flowers because dropping a 20 rebound triple double is something that you just don't see that often. So I wanted to give him respect for that. But having said that, I think I'm going to go with Memphis in the spot. It's all. I'm not going to bet it. This line doesn't make much sense. Memphis is 1-6. They're 0-3 at home. The Heat are off of a massive emotional win against the Lakers. Whether they want to downplay it or not, Jimmy Butler against the they care. They care. I mean, Bam cared against Anthony Davis. I know Davis got hurt, but still, you know what I mean? That's a game that Butler and company are circling on the calendar. Now they're traveling on the road. They're 0-4 on the road, by the way. They're 0-3. They're on the road, though, and they have a game against the worst team in the league. Man. This is such a letdown spot for Miami that we've seen time and time again.
It is. Man,
Miami is one of those teams that might be, I don't want to say a blind fate on the road, but we're kind of seeing it with the Lakers this season, which we'll mention in a little bit. They're a team that just prioritizes home games. They care more about home games than road games. It's just how they're built. I'm going to go with Memphis.
They don't even care about home games because they don't cover as a
They don't cover, but they win. They win the home games. They lose the road games. So I'm going to go Memphis.
I don't know if you saw, but last episode, me and Moonoff were just spitballing about that game, and I was just like, man, watch the Miami Heat win exactly by 1. That's exactly what they would do. Yep. They would push a -1, and I've seen it. I've seen games where it's been plus 1.5 and they've won by 1, and those people that laid minus 1.5 did not win. I've seen that numerous of times. If you're on the Miami Heat here, just take them on the money line. Don't even take the chance.
I just think the line's too
Don't
weird.
take the
They
chance.
just beat the Lakers. I don't think the Lakers are that good, but the point is it's a nice high-profile win, and they're favored by 2 against a 1-6 team. I'll take the 1-6 team plus 2. That line is very, very weird. And I think it's a massive letdown spot. You don't think it's a letdown spot?
Bro, Bismack Biyombo's starting this game.
You don't think it's a letdown spot, though?
Yes, it is. It's a massive letdown spot. I get everything you're saying. And literally, if it was any other team of the 30 NBA teams that we had to pick from, I would be all over the line with you. But this Memphis team sucks.
They're not good.
They're so
they're not
bad.
good. No, they're not good.
All right. I'm taking Memphis plus 1.5.
I think you're taking the Heat.
If
Take the Heat money line. Don't let me persuade you. We'll go
I'm
head to
telling
head.
you, watch the Heat. The Heat might win by 1 again.
They
might win by 1.
They
again.
might. We'll see. But
oh man, both
see,
these two
Daniel,
teams
that's
are
the
bad in
thing is that you
fourth
might think that I'm completely wrong about this, but why is the line so short?
No, I'm with you. Normally, I would be the one trying to get you to fade the Heat in this spot, but Memphis is so bad, and it's so hard to bet on Memphis. Like, they're such a frustrating team to bet on.
By the way, to answer Daniel's question or statement, only on the good stuff.
Yeah, Heat win easily. Yeah, man, if you're on a Heat, just take a money line. I swear, like, take a money line because if they
I'll
win
take
by
a stand
1,
here.
You're gonna be pissed.
I'll go with Memphis, but I do acknowledge this team sucks.
I'm only taking Memphis plus 1.5 out of the principle, but in reality, I do think the Heat actually win this game. Okay. I don't care about props or anything else in this game, to be honest. I don't
Give me Biyombo rebounds.
What?
Give me Biyombo rebounds. Come on, Bam just had 20. Come on, he's putting up 6. Come on.
All right.
We know Bam's going back to 6 here. Come on,
give me, I'm not supporting Biyombo rebounds. Props. I'm not supporting Biyombo props on this show. Cleveland Cavaliers on the road play Oklahoma City Thunder. Cavs open up -1. They are now -2. 228 is the total injury report. And we have for these two teams what did I find wherever? Hey, where are they at? Oh, there we go. Isaac Okoro's out, Sam Morrill's out, Ty Jerome out, Ricky Rubio not with the team, and it's a bunch of role players. And Isaac Okoro is actually pretty big. And for the OKC Thunder, you got Lou Dort's questionable, Dieng is questionable, Karish Williams is out. These two teams did play last week, and
Cleveland should have won, but they choked it pretty hard.
Yeah, and luckily I was on the Thunder, so we got that one.
What did Chet have? 7 blocks in that game?
Something like that. It was a pretty big game for him. I am not fading this Thunder team. So that's happening. I'm not fading this.
It is a different matchup, though, because Jared Allen did not play in the first meeting. He's going to play in this one. So it is a different Cleveland team, to be fair.
It is. Is that enough for you?
I think it's weird they're laying 2.5 on the road. I guess the argument against OKC, this team defensively is really not any good. They can't guard anybody, which is not a total shock because they go small. They don't really have a center. Chet is kind of a center, but he's extremely skinny, and he's at the three-point line all the time offensively. But this team doesn't guard anybody, and I guess the question is, does Oklahoma City get killed on the glass? Because they're not a good rebounding team, with Chet being basically their center, and now they're against Jared Allen and Mobley. And Mobley I've given a hard time to in the past because offensively, I wish he was more polished. He's still a good rebounder. Allen's a really good rebounder, and I don't think anybody on this team can guard Mitchell. Dort's a bench player, so I don't know if he would guard Mitchell because they're not going to be on the court at the same time. So it is a pretty interesting spot here. I think I'm going to lean to Cleveland. I don't feel great about it, but I do think there's an extra bit of motivation after they blew that game they should have won about 2 weeks ago. I like this Thunder team. I think that they're good, but defensively they have a lot of problems. They have a lot of problems defensively. I think Cleveland, with Allen back playing about 30 minutes in this game, should help stabilize the interior. I think Cleveland just kills them on the glass in this game. I'm going to lean to Cleveland.
Yeah, SGA.
And there's been a lot of line movement on Cleveland. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it
Luis is mentioning that the Cavs open up +1. They're -2.5. So that's a pretty big move.
Yep, pretty much. And that's where I'm at. They were -2.5 in Cleveland. And they're -2.5 on the road in OKC now. Jared Allen joined back, so that's probably a little bit has to do.
He's
with
slowly
that,
gotten more minutes throughout the games he's been in, so I'm assuming he's going to be around 30.
Yeah. I'm taking Shea. Give me Shea. I'm not fading OKC. I'm not fading OKC.
I was one of the biggest OKC fans this offseason, but defensively they have problems. I just want to point that out. They are a bad defensive team.
100%. I agree with you with that. However, the Oklahoma City Thunder are still, whenever my system pulls up, and I can't remember what the number is. There we go. 6-1 against the spread in the first half this season. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were really, really good against the spread in the first half. 2-5 this season. OKC first half. OKC's bad in the fourth quarter too. So I'm 100%. If you want to get down on an OKC first half and a Cleveland Cavs full game, I can.
The exact opposite that we got in the previous meeting.
Yep. Oh yes, Scott. What's that pay? What's that pay? Go to Bet365.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
All right. While you're doing that, I really don't care. I'm taking SGA for play props.
I'll take Mitchell. I'll take Mitchell and Garland. I think Garland double. I think is a sneaky look because OKC really doesn't guard anybody. And with Allen back, the lob threats are there again. So I think Garland assist is worth a look.
All right.
I also like Giddey under. I like Giddey as a player. The guy can't shoot. I know they're working on it, but his jump shot is so broken. They have to fix that damn thing.
He's so good if he did. If he fixed the jump shot, he's so good.
I know. His vision's incredible, but he just can't. He can't shoot.
Well, let me give the info for the next game while you're still pulling up that line on the halftime, full time for that game. The Detroit Pistons are traveling to the Milwaukee Bucks play. The Bucks are laying 12. Open up at minus 12.5. Now they're laying 12. 228.5 is the total here. Injury report for these two teams, and we have for the Milwaukee Bucks nothing. No, I lied. Chris Middleton is out for injury management. And for the Pistons, Jalen Duren is questionable. Jaden Ivey is out with an illness. Alec Burks is out with a forearm. Bojan's out. Monty Morris is out. Isaiah Livers is out. All extended period of time. Good luck picking the game that the Pistons are randomly super competitive against the Bucks. They are actually 2-3 against the spread versus them in the last 5.
They don't win games they cover.
Yeah, like the 2 games that they covered, like they were really, really competitive. And from what I remember, they were leading at one point.
Yeah.
Bucks are 1-5 against spread, Scott.
They can't guard anybody.
Yeah, man. But it's like, who's gonna without Ivy and Burks, who's really taking those shots to really I mean, Cade, of course. Maybe All-Star. I mean, is Duren, Isaiah Stewart, or Marvin Bagley going to have a really good game inside the post or inside the paint? Like, who's going to take advantage?
Wait, by the way, what was the thing you wanted? Thunder first half, Cavs full game?
Yeah.
That's 550.
Oh, yeah. Let's sprinkle there. Okay. Even though I like the Thunder, I'll sprinkle there. They're really bad in the fourth quarter. I want to be on the Pistons.
I'm going to be. I think 12 is massive. You mentioned the spread numbers. They can't guard anybody. The Pistons aren't a good team, but Monty Williams actually has them playing decent basketball. They have a lot of injuries. It is what it is. But Cade's been good. I got to see if Duren's playing because I think Duren's an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Asar Thompson's really, really good. Guy's really good defensively.
I wish he would shoot better from 3.
Oh, he's not a great shooter. Defensively, he's Tybal level. Like, he's nuts defensively. He's going to be a future multiple-time defensive first-team guy. He's an incredible defensive player.
Fine. Take the Pistons, even though I don't know who's going to do the scoring
12,
outside of Cade. I really don't know who's going to do the scoring outside of Cade.
I would consider taking the Bucks if it was once again in single digits, but 12 for a team that can't defend anybody? Nah, I can't do that.
I know.
If you're afraid of it, maybe Pistons team total over, and that way you just get by relying on the Bucks' bad defense. But I can't lay 12 with a team that can't stop anybody.
I'm going to roll with All-Star having a good day shooting. Somebody's going to destroy them. Somebody is going to destroy the Bucks. I just want to know who it is, and I'm just going to say it's All-Star. Give me All-Star props. Pistons team total over for sure. That was the first bet that I circled. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're somehow going to go over. I just don't. I'm curious on who's going to be the actual like second and third scorer on this team with Ivy and Burks out.
It's not going to be Killian Hayes. I'll tell you that much.
Hey man, look. So
I know he's actually been okay this year. He's actually been okay this year.
I've been looking at it, and I'm like, it could be Killian Hayes.
I'm so anti Killian Hayes, but he's been better than last. He's better this year than last year, but he's still not any good. But
all right. Daniel's
asking, Daniel, this
is
games? Not an in-season tournament.
No,
day.
It's only Tuesdays and Thursdays are the only in-season tournament days.
Fridays.
I mean, I'm sorry, Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays and Fridays are only in-season tournament days. So we'll be back on Friday and we'll talk about those games.
Look for the extremely ugly courts. That's how you know it's an in-season tournament game.
And it's going to be the exact same. All right, so we're taking the Pistons. We got to sprinkle on the money line here, man. We have to. We have to sprinkle on the money line. All right, Pistons plus 12. Pistons sprinkle on the money line. Pistons team total over. Cade, give me everything, Cade. That's it. I don't.
If Duran does not play in this game, Giannis is dropping like 35. If Duran does not play, I watched Duran miss one game this year. They lost to Portland. Like if Duran does not play, they're gonna get killed. But if he plays, I like him in the spot.
Los Angeles Lakers are laying 3.5 on the road. Opened up at -4.5. They're laying 3.5 now versus the Rockets, where Dillon Brooks said he's going to lock up LeBron James.
How'd that go in the playoffs last year?
220.5 is total. That's come down a point. Injury report for these two teams, and unfortunately for the for the Houston Rockets, Dillon Brooks is playing in this game, and so is LeBron James. However, Anthony Davis is questionable. Okay.
He's injured.
Rui Hachimura is probable. We have Jackson Hayes, who's questionable, and Gabe Vincent, who forgot how to shoot when he came to LA, as you know, typical shooters.
It's so funny. They did the same thing with Kendrick Nunn, and they just got another guy from the Heat.
Yep, and same thing. I mean, Danny Green forgot how to shoot when he got there. Like, it's just everybody. So, Jaron Vanderbilt, Jalen Hood-Schifino, all on IR. You have the Houston Rockets. Tari Eason is probable. It's a nice get back for them. Eamon Thompson is on IR. That's brutal. And Oladipo still hasn't played a game, and I don't think he will.
Forgot he's still in the league. I have a stance on this game, but I'm going to let you go first.
I mean, I'm not betting this. I'm not betting this.
Oh, I mean, well, duh. I mean, for the sake of the spread, I feel pretty good about the angle I actually have.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just going to. I mean, if you have something that'll sell me on the Rockets, fine. But I've had a pretty strong stance of I'm just not going to bet the Rockets and be perfectly fine. And so,
once again, I'm not going to bet the game, but I have a stance on it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of our picks for the season and all of that, yeah, I'm just going ahead and take the Lakers. I'm not betting the Rockets at all.
I'm on Houston.
Really?
2.5. I am.
Why?
I don't think the Lakers are that good. Simply
they're
put.
not. They're not.
I said this when I watched them play the first couple games of the season, and I ended up having Orlando plus the points against them. Not the game that they got killed. Not the game Orlando killed them in. The game they actually lost. I had Orlando plus the points. I won. But I watched the Lakers. They can't score. This team offensively is just nothing. And none of the supporting cast guys can shoot. Reeves had a good game last time out. Almost had a triple-double. But he has not a great year either. Cam Reddish is playing in the final possession of games, which tells you how bad things are for this team.
Wow.
I think Cam Reddish shouldn't be in the league. I've said this for several years. Defensively, he's gotten better, but him being on the court for the final offensive possession is embarrassing. He can't shoot. But I think for the sake of this matchup, Houston, not terrible. Shout out to Udoka.
Mm-hmm.
They've actually been okay. They killed the Kings the last two games. No De'Aaron Fox. The Kings are kind of screwed. Separate
That was
story.
brutal. They got me on both games.
I mentioned the Lakers earlier when I talked about the Heat Grizzlies game. Some teams are just good at home and they can't play on the road. The Lakers are good at home and they are awful on the road. They were last year 2-0 on the road this year. I'm going to take Houston. I think Houston at home can actually give the Lakers something to worry about. AD is not at 100%. He might not play. But Houston, recently, not bad. Dillon Brooks, pretty good this year, to be honest. He's actually been solid. So I think when you're looking at how these rosters are constructed, of course the Lakers have more high-end talent with AD and LeBron. LeBron's playing 37 minutes a game when he was supposed to play 30 because the team sucks and he has to carry them to the finish line every time. LeBron's on and off numbers are disgusting this year. I'm going to take Houston. I think that the Lakers on the road are a complete fade for me, and Houston's a feisty young team that'll get up for this game. Give me Houston.
Thank you to the Magic for cashing that.
You might remember Houston beat them last year in Houston. It went to overtime.
Yeah,
but
no. I don't agree with anything you're saying. I mean, disagree. I don't disagree with anything you're saying at all, and it's very good reasons to be on Houston. I'm just not taking Houston after they won 2 straight. Like, I just
would you take the Lakers if AD is ruled out?
I'm tempted to take him if he's ruled out because
you are. Okay.
I hate AD right now, man. I mean, so did you see the clip of It Is What It Is? Shout out to It Is What It Is over there at the Blue Wire Studios where we also do podcasts. So we've done podcasts in the same place they do.
I got to go back to Vegas to do a podcast there at some point. It's been a while.
Yeah, we do. It's been a long time. So they had asked a question on air and they said, who would you rather have right now, Bam Adebayo or Anthony Davis? And all three.
I want Iguodala. No. Okay. You
all
want
three.
Bam, I'm guessing?
All three. And OJ Simpson.
I was going to say OJ was on Bam. I remember seeing OJ on Bam. Like, what the hell are you doing here?
All of them said they'd rather have Bam. And when I thought about it, I was like, I mean, at least Bam plays. Like,
yeah, Bam's a pretty durable guy for that.
He's out there. Yeah. All right. Clear no bet here. I don't even want to touch the total, to be honest. I'm good. I actually don't want anything to do with that game. Matter of fact,
I'm going to lean under because the Lakers can't score. But once again, I think Houston's got value getting money.
That's a toilet bowl game. I don't care what nobody says. All right.
That bad, you should never take Houston. The truth is, as bad as Houston is, they're better than I thought they were going to be. At this point, they're better than I thought they were going to be. So they're not as bad as I thought.
We have 4 more games. Let's go ahead and roll them on out. The New Orleans Pelicans. Wow, this line skyrocketed. New Orleans Pelicans are on the road playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves open up at -6.5. Is it now -9.5? 217.5 is the total. That means that we've had a pretty big out in that game. And let me just go ahead and refresh my screen because that's got to be something that just happened. For the New Orleans Pelicans, because that's probably where the out is. We have Zion, who is out, CJ, who's out with that long injury. So they are now missing Najee Marshall, Trey Murphy, Jose Alvarado, and CJ McCollum for long term. Herb Jones is questionable. Zion is ruled out. And for the Timberwolves, you said what?
What's the line at now?
It's -9.5.
Okay, so I'll update that, sir.
And then we have Jordan McLaughlin, who is on IR. Jalen Clark as well. I mean,
New Orleans is punting this game, right?
They have to be. They have to be. So
unless
Matt Ryan is projected to make a start here.
Is this a letdown spot for Minnesota?
I don't think so. Even
though they just beat the Celtics in overtime?
I really want to say it is, but I don't think so. I just don't know. Dog. Zion, CJ, Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy, Najee Marshall. 5 guys that play meaningful minutes for this team. Not playing. Nah, man, I can't do it. Just give me 9.5. That's all I need to say. Just give me 9.5.
I'm taking Minnesota anyway. I had a play in that Nuggets and Pelicans game. I had Jokic over rebounds and assists. He had 29, 13, and 10 before the fourth quarter. This Pelicans team can't stop anybody. They can't rebound. They're the worst rebounding team in the league, which is kind of wild because Valanciunas is a pretty well-known good rebounder. Worst rebounding team in the league. Towns and Gobert are going to kill this team on the glass. I'm going to take Minnesota. I think they win this game comfortably.
Yeah.
But I do like Pelicans team total under. This Minnesota defense is nasty.
100%. I'd rather play that than play the spread, to be honest. That might be in lot consideration.
If you want a sleeper prop, though, with McCollum also out, give me Jordan Hawkins threes.
Okay. All right. I like that, Scott. Yeah. That's enough of that one. Toronto Raptors on the road going to play the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know why I want to say the Dallas Wings so bad. That's why. All right. So -6 was where it opened at. It's now at -5 for the Mavericks at home. 226.5 is total here. That's come up 5 points. Pretty sizable line movement there. Raptors are missing Koloko and Achua is questionable. That's it. And for the Mavericks, Maxi Kleber is questionable. I've been
Is
trying to
Dallas
fade the
actually
Mavericks.
good?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We have this
And the thing is,
conversation
I
all
was
the
high.
time, but I have to ask.
I was high on them, and I should be taking a victory lap that they started with 6-1, and I took the win total over. I should be, but I don't because I actually think they might suck. But they keep winning games, so it's like you can't suck because you keep winning games.
I'm just not used to Kyrie actually deferring. I just did
And
not
it's so,
expect Kyrie to be so
and
willing to
that's
be
why
a
he's
secondary
not.
player.
Yeah, like what? Like to Luka. I
It's been
mean,
working. I just didn't think
it
Kyrie would do
has.
it.
I'm shocked, and shout out to Kyrie, but Raptors +5 because I think Dallas is fraudulent. I really do. I just, and I've never felt good about any spot that I took the Raptors, but I think I'm starting to pick and choose pretty well. But I've never felt good about any spot that I've taken Raptors at all.
The
But
Raptors
I don't
were
think
a
I can lay 5 with
yeah.
the Mavericks here.
The Raptors were a thorn in my side for years with Van Vliet. I couldn't get a game right. This year, I've actually been pretty good with the Raptors. I'm going to take the points. I think they're feisty in the spot. I've seen Dallas play on several occasions. They had a war against the Hornets, which they should not brag about, but they won the game. They were sweating it out, man. LaMelo had what, like a 33-point triple-double? Like, it was rough, but they got it done in the end. They were in a hell game with the Hornets. I can't pick a minus 5.5 here. Like, I got to go Raptors. The Raptors aren't, once again, a great team. They're going to finish probably out of the playoff picture, maybe a play-in, probably out of the play-in, though. But they have talent. Barnes has been good. Really, really good, actually. I'm underselling. Barnes has been fantastic. Siakam's been okay, but we know he's kind of a tweener. I don't think Dallas has anybody that can really guard him. Dallas, the issue they run into is they have no center depth because you're looking at Kleber, who's constantly hurt, Lively, who's been good, but he's in foul trouble all the time. I think Toronto's pretty live to win this, and Schroeder's been great. So I'm going to take Toronto. I think Schroeder's double-double's worth a look for a prop.
Ooh, I like that. All right. Give me the over because I don't think, no, it's not that I don't think. I know for a fact Dallas is not good defensively. I know for a fact Dallas is not good defensively. And I think they'll find ways to score on Toronto. But this game is going to be lost because Dallas is going to let some random player on Toronto go off for 25, close to 30 points. It's pretty much par for the course for them. All right. The Sacramento Kings are laying 8 at home versus the Portland Trailblazers after getting destroyed by the Rockets with no De'Aaron Fox for 2 games on a row.
Portland's missing players. I'll be quick. You're going to mention the injury report in a second. I'm blindly taking Portland anyway. There's no way I can take the Kings.
Wow.
There's no way I can take the Kings.
Wow, you didn't even wait for the injury report. Do you know it?
Not even going to bother. No, it's a waste.
Wait, no, seriously. Do you know what the injury report is, or did you just do that without?
I know Portland's missing like half their guards. Like I'm aware Scoot's not playing, and I'm aware that they're missing some guys. Simons is still out. Have you seen the Kings play without Fox?
No, I'm just shocked that you didn't even care about the injury report, man.
8? In no world am I laying 8 without De'Aaron Fox. No world am I laying.
Yeah, no,
that's crazy.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Wow, you didn't even wait.
You can read it off though, for the people at home, but without Fox, I'm not laying 8 points. That's crazy.
All right. For the Trailblazers, yeah, Scott basically said it all. Scoot Henderson out, Ishirin Wright out, Anthony Simons out, Robert Williams
Forgot to mention
out.
Robert Williams out for the year with knee surgery. Forgot to mention that.
Yep. And for the Sacramento Kings, De'Aaron Fox is out, Trey Lyles is out. Yeah, they look really, really bad. They couldn't score.
I watched that second game. They got buried against Houston, and you're like, okay, Houston snuck up on them. How the hell are you down 30 in the second straight game against Houston in the third quarter? You're down 30? Come on, man.
If it's a trap,
30.
If it's a trap, I'm dead. This is probably a public dog, and it's horrible to say that Portland is probably a public dog. But how do you lay 8 with this Kings team after what they just did against the Rockets? Like, that's really, really brutal. Like,
by the way, Strutters, I actually didn't get burned by Sacramento. I had no action on that game. I was just watching it, just going, I know this team. I was just disappointed because the Kings were so fun last year offensively, and Fox goes down, and I'm just watching Sabonis. I'm watching all these other guys, and nobody can do anything without Fox on the court, and it was just painful to watch.
That sucks. All right.
I was just mad because I was watching Sabonis do nothing. He was getting punked by Şengün. And I'm like, this is just bad. So, no, I didn't get burned. I was just watching it, and I just don't like watching bad basketball. The Kings were just painful to watch.
Last game on the slate, and it's a goodie. Golden State Warriors playing the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets open up -5. They are now -3 at home. 227 is total. That's come down 1.5 for the Nuggets. You have Jokic, who's probable with the wrist injury. Jamal Murray is out. And for the Warriors, you have Draymond, who is questionable for personal reasons.
I'm assuming Draymond's not going to play. Usually personal reasons, questionable. What is that, like 70% not playing?
Yeah.
Because that's not an injury. That means he's got a family thing.
Or it's like, I don't know. It could be anything. I don't know.
Could be anything. Yeah. Personal usually means a family thing, if I'm being honest. So I'm assuming he's not going to play.
Yeah.
Hope everything's okay with his family and whatever he's dealing with. But personal reasons, this early in advance, that usually means a family member's sick. Or he's potentially having a kid. It's one of the two. It's either a really good family thing or a really bad family thing, but it's something family related.
All right.
I'm on Denver.
How much is Jamal Murray worth?
I think he's worth some, but if there's one superstar in the league that can survive without a point guard, it's going to be Jokic, because he had 29, 10, and he had 29, 13, and 10 in 3 quarters against New Orleans last game. Golden State can't guard him. I mean, if Draymond's out, Jokic can really kill this team in so many different ways, especially if Draymond's out.
So
the Warriors are nice, though. I'll give them that. They're nice. But
yeah, no, they're great. And hold on, Jokic without Jamal Murray game log, because
I don't know if you're ready for
I
this.
remember we had a playoff series.
He had a whole year without Murray, and he was a
yeah, and we had a playoff series. I just want to see what he did against Golden State without Murray. But there was a playoff series where Golden State ran over them without Jamal Murray.
I had the spread, but I remember Jokic had great numbers, but I had the 1.5 games. Yeah. They won in 5. To be fair, Will Barton was in the starting lineup, so Denver had no chance of winning that series. So that's why I took the Warriors. But
okay, so the last game was in Golden State in the regular season. In Golden State, Denver did win 128-123 as a plus 5.5 point dog. Damn, really? How highly rated was Golden State last year? Oh, that was 2 years ago. Okay, that was 2 years ago.
It's in altitude. Draymond might not play. It's
I don't know. Steph has been is Steph not leading MVP? Is he not leading MVP race right now?
It's Jokic. It's not even close.
What?
I think Curry's third.
That's crazy.
I would probably, if I had to vote right now, Jokic would be 1, Luka would be 2, and Curry would be 3. Really? Jokic isn't even close. He's clearly MVP right now. Like, I don't think it's even a discussion.
Really?
Jokic's numbers are absolute filth. I got to pull those up, but no, Jokic, it's insane. You see the tournament game against the Mavericks over the weekend? It's just absolute domination. Jokic is averaging. Jokic is averaging 28, 13, and 8 on 63% shooting. 63% shooting. 28,
this is
13,
literally the
and 8.
Same numbers we say all the time. Like, he's good. He's really good.
He's going to win it if he stays healthy, especially after Embiid won it last year. Like, Jokic is going to win it. Curry's in there, though. I'm not dismissing him. But MVP right now, it's Jokic.
I don't know. 30. I don't know. Steph's like, but I get it. He does more. He does do more. He does more.
I'm not saying Steph's bad. I have him in 3rd place.
Yeah. I don't know, man. His shooting is crazy this season. Insane. All right.
It's such a low number in altitude, though. Denver's so good at home. Golden State's been good on the road, too. I get it. But Denver's so good.
This would be just the ultimate road test for Golden State if they got this win. I'm going to take Denver. I really want to take Golden State. I really want to sell myself on Golden State, but they're defensively, if a couple of these guys don't show up and it's only Steph, they're not going to win. So yeah, I'll take Denver. I don't like it, but I'll take Denver. All right, best player in the league. Yeah, no, he is. I'm not saying he's not. I don't know. Steph is doing something at his age that's really, really crazy. Like, yeah. I'm with you. Jokic is the best player in the league, but I'm a
firm believer. I'm not going to go full hot take because we're at the 80-minute mark of the show. But Jokic right now, I've seen a lot of great basketball players. I miss the Jordan prime. I miss the Shaq prime for the most part. I call it Shaq in Miami, but still. I think Jokic might be a top 2 player in my lifetime.
Okay.
LeBron being 1. I think he might be top 2. At least for peak. I can't even describe what he's doing. This is just stupid how good he is at the game. I think he's a top 2 player in my lifetime. He's going to have to play longer for the career element of it. But for peak, this basketball player right now might be the best player I've ever seen. Probably behind LeBron. But probably second best I've ever seen. Just saying.
I'll take Steph over threes. And we'll end it on that note.
I'll take Jokic triple-double. Trying to think of what else I want. I can see Clay having a good game from 3.
Well, if Clay has a good game, Denver's screwed. If Clay has a good game, Denver's screwed.
I think Chris Paul assist is worth a look in this game. If Draymond doesn't play, would that move Paul into the starting lineup, or would they move like Kuminga into the starting lineup?
I have no idea. I don't want to say anything because Steve Kerr, like, it's
Okay.
kind of a day of field, but I think Paul might move into the starting lineup. But
I'll take Paul assist because I don't think Draymond's going to play. So,
all right, this is like I'm taking Denver a lot to start this season. They burned me a couple of times. So,
are they bad against the
I
spread?
like 3.
They've been winning every game by like 15 recently.
Well, we took a -6 against Memphis, and that didn't work.
Look at that one. I remember that lost.
That was
they
a
lost
brutal
the game
one.
to Minnesota. They got killed.
Yep.
They've covered every other game, I think.
I think I've taken them both of those times. Have I? Yeah, I think I've taken them both of those times. 5-3 still. 4-4 for Golden State. That Memphis one really hurt me. I'm sorry. Memphis sucks. Okay. Lock and dog. And we'll do an underdog lineup really quickly and get out of here. We're way over on time. For my lock.
I mean, we had 14 games. There's nothing we can do about it.
Let's see here. Spurs plus 10.5, man. Come on, man. The Knicks laying 10.5 in the Garden. No freaking way. No way. Spurs plus 10.5. That's my lock. For my dog. Is it Nets? It's probably Nets. Scott might pick Nets.
I've been on the Nets consistently, and they've won me every time I've taken them. They've won me money every time I've taken them.
Yeah, because they're undefeated against spread.
Yeah. I'm saying money line. I'm saying even money line. They've won me the money line bets.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you're gonna probably take them, and so I'm just gonna fade Dallas because I don't think Dallas is that good, and either my win total gets another win or I win money tonight. So give me Toronto plus 160.
All right. For my lock on the show, I got a couple of choices here. What do I want to go with? I think I am actually going to do it. I'm going to take Denver -3 at home.
Wow.
I don't think Draymond's going to play. I think Draymond's not going to play. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. But I just think Denver in the altitude is just too much to deal with. So I think Denver is getting a very cheap number. Even I know Murray's a very good player. I get it. Nobody can guard Jokic. Once again, he's a top 2 player of my lifetime. So I can't really go against him at home laying 3. I'll take Denver. I think they get it done. Might be a sweat for a bit. I think it's going to be close, but I think Denver eventually breaks away. They're going to dominate in the paint. No offense to Looney, but I really just don't see much help besides him in there. And I think they're looking at Denver taking care of business. So give me Denver -3 is my lock. For my dog, Nets money line. I'm going to go back to it. The Nets are undefeated when I've taken them as a dog on the show, so I'm not going to go against them. I said straightforward, I'm going to fade the Clippers constantly with James Harden because I really don't think that this is going to work. And I think that they have to really reinvent their entire team. The Nets might not be a great team, but they're good enough to take advantage of a good team on a bad night. And I think the Clippers are going to have a bad night. As a result, I do think that the Nets are very live. Give me the Nets money line at plus 165.
I kind of like parlaying our locks and dogs today. And
my bonus lock would be the Hornets team total over, but I gave that out. I'm going to do a YouTube short in a bit, and that might be the play I pick. So I ended up going separately.
All right, there we go. If you take our locks and our dogs, Denver -3, Spurs plus 10.5, Raptors money line, Nets money line, 23-1. Not bad.
I thought you said you were going to take the first half full game thing as your dog.
Oh yeah, that was in consideration.
That's a bonus dog for you?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Because I still do like the Thunder, even though that's so hard. Like it's so hard to pass that up. Come on now. Even if it's against me, it's hard to pass that up. That's like plus 550. All right. Underdog lineup. Who sticks out?
Jokic PRA.
Oh wow. My light just went out.
It's going to be massive. I mean, I've been on the rebounds and assists for Jokic all year, and that's cashed pretty easily. If you want to look for,
like, we played it last episode and it hit. So
I had it last game against the Pelicans that cashed in 2.5 quarters.
23 rebounds and assists. Want to play that?
That is pretty high. I was kind of hoping it was going to be
around
22
like last
21
game.
And
It
a
was
half,
22 last game.
His PRA is 52.5. You like Curry threes or points?
Yeah, I like his threes.
Okay, I'll go threes. What's that? Right. Like 4.5?
Well, let's see if I can even. Do they?
It might not exist.
They don't have. Yeah, they don't have Steph. Yeah, they don't have Steph. All right. I am.
We got to take something from that Hornets game. LaMelo assist 9.5.
Yeah, sure.
He had a triple-double last game. Hornets. The Wizards are allowing the most assists per game in the league.
All right, LaMelo.
If this game's getting to 250, LaMelo's putting up at least 10 assists. So.
Oh, they have so many props. It's so hard to find anything. All right, here we go. 10. It's at 10.
It's at 10? Oh, okay. I don't mind it.
Let's go with a Joel Embiid points.
Yeah, that works.
All right, higher on Joel Embiid, 29.
What's that number at?
Points, 29.5.
Okay.
And give me something else. What's something else we like?
You taking LeBron against Dylan Brooks?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
That's just a pure pity angle. Or like a pure
I can be petty. And because this on-off is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, unless you want to go
half.
We could
it's
go
only 25.5.
But
he's good for 26.
Okay.
All right. Joel Embiid higher, 29.5 points. LeBron James higher, 25.5 points. LaMelo Ball higher, 10 assists. That is a 3-pick contest in Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code SGPN that pays 6-1. See you all in the winter circle. All right, we've gone extremely way far over. So sorry, but you got a lot of content, a lot of games. Appreciate all 65 of you who are in the chat. Make sure you like the video on your way out and everybody that comes through afterwards. And if you're listening through your ears, wherever you get your podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and review. Other than that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending podcast. Just going to do like this. We're out of here.